Morning, guys. How you guys doing? Right now here in California it's 6:12 and I just finished working out, and I don't know if I shared here, but a lot of times when I work out I put words like of faith or like motivational. I don't really listen to music anymore when I work out. So I just have a lot of revelations when I'm working out because I'm exercising the body and exercising the spirit and the soul at the same time. It's really wonderful. So I highly recommend you work out with listening to a preaching or to a motivational speech or a learning speech, and you really get a lot out of it. So I was listening and God started speaking to me, and we're all born out of two ways to be born. All right, you can either be born out of freedom or out of failure, right? So what is it to be born out of freedom? To be born out of freedom is to be born into faith. Oh, what does that mean? I'm going to explain it to you. All right, so when you're born into failure, you pretty much have no vision. All you see is on earth is visually seen. You don't actually have a vision of the future, right? So if you get a piece of paper and you write future on top and you grab two little lines like that, see? Your future, okay? What do you want in your future, right? You want freedom. That's the end goal for every human being, is freedom. We want to feel that we are ourselves, free to be ourselves. And the second option is failure. So pretty much not being able to overcome what you were born into, right? So what changes between these three things? And I'll show you, okay? What changes is faith, all right? Faith. What is faith? Faith, and I'm going to pull down a little arrow down here. Faith is vision of your future. You see? Vision, faith, future. So it will start as what seems like vision. You will think of something that you can become in your future, and you believe. When you believe, that becomes faith. And when you start acting, the Bible says faith without action is dead. So unless you begin acting upon that vision, you will fail. Because we are all born with sight, but not everybody has vision. So whenever you apply your vision, you actually think and visualize that you can have a future and believe in that future and work in that future, you will most likely achieve freedom, because that is the goal for every humankind, every human being, for us to be free to be ourselves. But most of the time, we cannot get past failure. All we see is failure. We can't see ourselves past it. We can't see ourselves overcoming our weaknesses. So, in that sense, freedom is finishing, right? Freedom is finishing your purpose, fulfilling your purpose. Freedom to fulfill your purpose. So freedom to fulfill your purpose. Now, failure to I had thought about, there was a word that I thought about it, but I can't remember right now. But just remember this, if you want a future, you must have vision and you must have faith to fulfill your purpose, to fulfill and finish in freedom. Because we are all looking to have freedom, to be independent, to not have to depend on anyone, because we're born depending on people, right? Unless you're financially free, which is what most people look to be free in, is financially. And so we cannot see that financial freedom. It's hard for us. A lot of people cannot see themselves in financial freedom. They only see themselves as slaves. So you have to turn something in your mind in order to remove that failure mindset, in order to remove that fear. That's what it was. So failure, it goes backwards, right? Failure, it attracts fear. So fear attracts failure, actually, sorry. So when you're born into failure, you're born with fear, right? You're born with fear. And that's what I was thinking about. So, and when you're born in freedom, you're born with faith, all right? So usually when you're born in freedom, you're born in a family, in a healthy setting, in a family setting. But sometimes some people are born into failure, broken families, separated families, like parents that passed away, parents that had accidents. So a lot of fear automatically, instinctively fills that person's heart because they feel empty. They don't feel full. They don't feel fulfilled because they don't see the image of what everybody has, which is a family. So the purpose of life, honestly, is family. That is the purpose of life, and having a abundant family. That is the main purpose of life. It's not financial freedom, but a lot of people nowadays in our generation, that's all they can think about. But the most precious thing about life is family, building a family. Now I understand if you don't want to have and build a family, and that's fine, and that's okay. You will end up having a family that you either teach or either model or, like help. So essentially, we are meant to be there for one another, right? Love is the meaning of life. And we can only achieve love, if we have faith. Because if we don't have faith, we can't love. Because love is an expression of believing that that person can be better, or that person can truly become someone who will fulfill their purpose in the future and have a successful future. So in order for us to have a successful future, we need faith. If we are in fear still, we are going to attract failure. We're not going to attract freedom. So be careful with which one you are feeding, all right? You can either be feeding faith or you can be feeding fear in your life. And if you're feeding fear, you're going to attract failure. But if you're feeding faith, you will be attracting freedom, fulfillment, right? That's what we desire for. We desire to be free and fulfilling our purpose for our future. So, depois eu vou falar em português, para vocês entenderem português. Bom dia, Max. Deus abençoe. So I'm just wrapping up right now. I just wanted to leave this quick message and revelation to you guys. If you like this message, if you believe in what I've said, please comment what you think, share, like ponder upon this and believe that you can be free too. We were all born for a purpose. Nobody is born out of whack. All right? The Bible says clearly, even if your mother and father abandon you, I will be there for you. Kind of like, in other words, God is there for all of us. He planned you to be born. Even if your parents didn't plan for you to be born, God planned for you to be born. All right? So God bless your Saturday and have a wonderful weekend.